Facts Media Global. It's the daily wrap up. You already know. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, first shifters. Shout out all the first shifters, the second shifters, and the third shifters out there getting to the bag. Get to that bag. All I ask is that you make sure that you're putting something up for the cause. That's it. All right, the daily wrap up. I know we've been all over the place during season 2, but it's just the fact that so much things has been going on. We had a number of 16 murders, 16 homicides since April the 13th, just in Baltimore City. Anybody with Instagram might want to go follow Be More Murder Inc. I think it is. Be More Murder Inc. or Murder Inc. Be More. One of them. They follow all. They keep abreast on all the murders that takes place in Baltimore City. It's on Instagram. Go look it up. Make sure you subscribe or whatever, however you do it on Instagram. I forgot. I ain't even been tripping off no Instagram. But anyway, earlier today we talked about the Asian African Conference, or the Afro Asian Conference, also known as the Bandung Conference. That was in Today in History, because the conference began today, but it was in 1955. 1955. So I digged into it. I had digged into it before today, but I wasn't able to. I didn't have enough time in the show earlier. I already had everything planned out, so I didn't have enough time to actually reference the note in the history. So I just wanted to go through it real quick, if you don't mind. Alright. The Afro-Asian Conference. It was a meeting of Asian and African states, most of which were newly independent, which took place on April the 18th through the 24th, 1955, in Bandung, Indonesia. Bandung, Indonesia. The 29 countries that participated at the Bandung Conference represented nearly 1/4 of the Earth's land surface and a total population of 1.5 billion people. Roughly 54% of the Earth's population at the time. The conference was organized by Indonesia, Burma, Pakistan, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and India, and was coordinated by Ruslan Abdul Ghani, Secretary General of the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The conference stated the conference's stated aims were to promote Afro-Asian economic and cultural cooperation and to oppose colonialism or neocolonialism by any nation. The conference was an important step toward the non-aligned movement. So let's see what the non-aligned movement. What was the non-aligned movement? The non-aligned movement is a group of states that are not formally aligned with or against any major power bloc. As of 2012, the movement has 120 members. We had to come back to that. Let's move on. All right, the background. Let's get into the background. The Conference of Bandung was preceded by the Bogor Conference, 1949. The Bogor Conference was the seed for the Colombo Plan and Bandung Conference. The second Bogor Conference was held December 28th through the 29th, 1954. The Bandung Conference reflected what the organizers regarded as a reluctance by the Western powers to consult with them on decisions affecting Asia in a setting of Cold War tensions. Their concern over tensions between the People's Republic of China and the United States, their desire to lay firmer foundations for China's peace relations with themselves and the West, their opposition to colonialism, especially French influence in North Africa and its colonial rule in Algeria, and Indonesia's desire to promote its case in the dispute with the Netherlands over Western New Guinea. Sukarno, the first president of the Republic of Indonesia, portrayed himself as the leader of this group of states, which he later describes as NEFOS, newly emerging forces. His daughter, Megawati Sukarno Putri, headed the PDI-P party during both summit anniversaries, and the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, during the third summit, was a member of her party. Plans for the conference were announced in December 1954. Now, I want you to keep in mind on that last sentence. December 1954. So how long did they have to plan this? Yeah, January. I mean, you had to have December, right? Because you know they had to make the. All right, so we say December, January, February, March, April. Okay, 5 months. 5 months. What was the discussion? What was the discussion about? All right. The major debate centered around the question of whether Soviet policies in Eastern Europe and Central Asia should be censured along with Western colonialism. A consensus was reached in which colonialism in all of its manifestations was condemned, implicitly censoring the Soviet Union as well as the West. China played an important role in the conference and strengthened its relations with other Asian nations. Having survived an assassination attempt on the way to the conference, the Chinese premier Zhao Enlai displayed a moderate and conciliatory attitude that tended to quiet fears of some anti communist delegates concerning China's intentions. They try to gun him down. See, we gotta be careful on how we try to criticize the Asian population and the Chinese. We gotta be real delicate. Yes, they played an intricate part in the exploitation in our community. But let's just let me move on. Later in the conference, Zhao Enlai signed on to the article in the concluding declaration stating that overseas Chinese owed primary loyalty to their home nation rather than to China. A highly sensitive issue for both his Indonesian host and for several other participating countries. Zhao also signed an agreement on dual nationality with Indonesian Foreign Minister Scenario. All right, let me read this again because this sounds a little funny. He signed an article in the concluding declaration stating that overseas Chinese owed primary loyalty to their home nation rather than to China. Overseas Chinese can be of the Han Chinese ethnic majority and from any of the other ethnic groups in China. Australia has okay. I'm not even gonna go through all of the different. All right, let me run through the declaration. See, these are some of the things that we need. A 10-point declaration on promotion of world peace and cooperation, incorporating the principles of the United Nations Charter, was adopted unanimously. Number one, respect for fundamental human rights and for the purpose and principles of the Charter of the United Nations. Respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations. Recognition of the equality of all races and of the equality of all nations, large and small. Abstention from intervention or interference in the internal affairs of another country. Number five, respect for the right of each nation to defend itself, singly or collectively, in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. Number six, abstention, abstention, abstention. I gotta get this word from the use of arrangements of collective defense to serve any particular interest of the big powers. Abstention. Okay, abstention from the use of arrangements of collective defense to serve any particular interest of the big powers. Abstention by number all right, that was number six of that A and B. So that was 6A and 6B was abstention by any country from exerting pressures on other countries. Number seven, refraining from acts or threats of aggression or the use of force against the territorial integration or political independence of any country. Number eight, settlement of all international disputes by peaceful means such as negotiation, conciliation, arbitration, or judicial settlement, as well as other peaceful means of the parties' own choice, in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. Number nine, promotion. Number nine is promotion of mutual interest and cooperation. Number 10, respect for justice and international obligations. The final communique of the conference underscored the need for developing countries to loosen their economic dependence on the leading industrialized nations by providing technical assistance to one another through the exchange of experts and technical assistance for developmental projects, as well as the exchange of technological know-how and the establishment of regional training and research institutes. I think we've been spewing a whole lot of rhetoric, man. I think China got our back. I think China got our back, and always had our back. But we just never even chose to. We just look at them as, we've been bamboozled. We joke. They serve cats, and they feeding us. We got so clouded with us being served cats and dogs in the Chinese restaurant. Now we're going to look at the United States involvement. See, this is what I like right here. Now let's talk about the United States involvement in this whole situation, people. Because that's what matters the most, right? Let's go. For the U.S., the conference insinuated a central dilemma of its Cold War policy. By currying favor with third world nations by claiming opposition to colonialism, it risked alienating its colonialist European allies. The U.S. security establishment also feared that the conference will expand China's regional power. In January 1955, the U.S. formed a working group on the Afro-Asian Conference. Let's do the math, people. See, it don't take the enemy long. It don't take the enemy long to put together a team. We just learned. We just learned that they planning started for the conference in December of 1954. Now we learn that our great country that we call the United States of America, in January, 1 month after they decided to start beginning the plan for this conference, the United States formed a working group which included the Operations Coordinating Board, the OCB, the Office of Intelligence Research, the OIR. Have anybody heard of these groups? Okay, let's move on. The Office of Intelligence Research, the OIR, the Department of State, you heard of them, the Department of Defense, we heard of them, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the United States Information Agency. The OIR and the USIA followed a course of image management for the U.S. using overt and covert propaganda to portray the U.S. as friendly and to warn participants of the communist menace. The United States, at the urging of Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, shunned the conference. The United States, at the urging of Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, shunned the conference and was not officially represented. However, the administration issued a series of statements during the lead up to the conference. These suggested that the U.S. would provide economic aid and attempted to reframe the issue of colonialism as a threat by China and the Eastern Bloc. Representative, Democrat of New York, Representative Adam Clayton Powell Jr. attended the conference sponsored by Ebony and Jet magazines instead of the United States government. I ain't even gonna read that one over. Powell spoke at some length in favor of American foreign policy there, which assisted the United States standing with the non-aligned. When Powell returned to the United States, he urged President Dwight D. Eisenhower and Congress to oppose colonialism and pay attention to the priorities of emerging third world nations. African American author Richard Wright attended the conference with funding from the Congress for Cultural Freedom. Wright spent about 3 weeks in Indonesia, devoting a week to attending the conference and the rest of his time to interacting with Indonesian artists and intellectuals in preparation to write several articles and a book on his trip to Indonesia and attendance at the conference. Wright's essays on the trip appeared in several Congress for Cultural. Wright's essays on the trip appeared in several Congress for Cultural Freedom magazines, and his book on the trip was published as The Color Curtain, a report on the Bandung Conference. Several of the artists and intellectuals with whom Wright interacted included Mokhtar Lupus, Azrul Sani, Sitar Sityu Marang, and Beb Root. Continued discussing Wright's visit after he left Indonesia. The outcome and legacy. Now, this is the outcome and the legacy of the conference. The conference was followed by the Afro-Asian People's Solidarity Conference in Cairo in September 1957 and the Belgrade Conference 1961, which led to the establishment of the non-aligned movement. In later years, conflicts between the non-aligned nations eroded the solidarity expressed at Bandung. Asian African Summit of 2005. To mark its 50th anniversary of the summit, heads of state and government of Asian African countries attended a new Asian African Summit from April 20th through the 24th in 2005 in Bandung and Jakarta. Some sessions of the new conference took place in Gedung Merdeka Independence Building, the venue of the original conference. Of the 106 nations invited to the historic summit, 89 were represented by the heads of state or government or ministers. The summit was attended by 54 Asians and 54 African countries. The 2005 Asian African Summit yielded inter alia, the declaration of the new Asian African Strategic Partnership, the joint ministerial statement on the NAASP plan of action, and the joint Asian African leaders statement on tsunami, earthquake, and other natural disasters. The conclusion, aforementioned declaration of NAASP is the 9 principles supporting political, economic, and social cultural cooperation. The summit concluded a follow-up mechanism for institutionalization process in the form of summit concurrent with business summit every 4 years. See, they started to get real technical. On the 60th anniversary of the Asian African Conference and the 10th anniversary of the NAASP, a third summit was held in Bandung and Jakarta from April the 21st through the 25th, 2015, with the theme Strengthening South-South Cooperation to Promote World Peace and Prosperity. Delegates from 109 Asian and African countries, 16 observer countries, and 25 international organizations participated. Now, I think we gotta take a second look at China now. We gotta reevaluate our views on China. Especially with this, see, I got a strong feeling that things are about to take one of them hard turns. One of them hard turns for the better, and it's gonna shake up. It's gonna shake up and wake up. Yeah, you like that, right? Shake it up, wake it up. This is gonna shake up and wake up the masses to the point where it's gonna be it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. That's the best way that I can describe it. It's just gonna be epic. And it's not gonna, and you're not gonna have to. It's not gonna be. It's not too far. It's not too far away, people. Trust and believe when I tell you. It's going to be real soon. It's going to be happening real soon. It's going to be one of them hard left turns that almost snap your neck. I got you all in check. I got that head nod that make you break your neck. I got you all in check. How dare you wanna try to step on my suede shoes? Top gun, running your spot like Tom Cruise. Let me get down and blow a fuse. Shout out Bossa Boss. You already know what time it is. Time to get back in. Let's talk to the brother Dick Gregory. Let's get back to the conversation. Not changing the narrative. What you thought? This was a select. You thought this was TMZ? Thought this was TMZ or World Star? No, we stand right on the information, people. Right on the information. Let's
where that made him world renowned. Carter, what he did.
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. You know how he got world renowned?
He separated the twins.
Head
with
twins.
The brain. Yeah, from the brain. He separated
Siamese twins.
Siamese twins. Yeah.
He wasn't even in the room when that happened. Wasn't in the room. He's been campaigning for 8 months. Have you ever heard him mention it? No. Everybody else mentioned everything they did with a pus, right? If what they said he did was true, then the question we need to ask, how come he's never been nominated for a Nobel Prize? Didn't say get one. The nomination. He's never been nominated for a Nobel Prize in medicine. See how the thinking, when the thinking hits? And when he said at the president's prayer breakfast, compared Obama, what do you call it, the insurance, Obamacare.
Obamacare, yeah.
Is worse than slavery, remember that? He was fired by the time he got back to Johns Hopkins. They'd already paid him for 2 weeks later to do the commencement. They said, keep the money. You better not be caught on this campus again.
So the two Donald Trumps, Bernie.
Huh?
Bernie Sanders. So
I didn't know that much about Bernie other than he come from a place where there ain't no black folks. So I just assumed he's CIA. You know, you can't do what he's doing across the country and nobody know you. But I got the experience of the Beatles, how they can manipulate crowds. Young folks, okay? That's how I'm saying you compound stuff with the stuff you know. And you do that by shutting up, listening. Huh? Wow. Huh? And so, Hillary, they can take her down anytime they want her. Put her in jail. And she don't have to do nothing. That's how they do it. You saw the pictures of Monica. They can have a picture with her screwing a gorilla. They have that technology now. ISIS, I mean, you stupid enough to believe with trillions of dollars, satellites, we didn't see him put in the military. He's us, trained by General Petraeus. And every time we overrun his lines, he ain't got nothing but American equipment. You know, it's a game. The mightiest military in the history of the planet, and these white folk, they bomb him every day and they can't Come on.
So, I mean, well, what does it say about the country this election, that somebody like Trump would even be the prime candidate?
I'm not even gonna answer. See, you take it to someplace else. Huh? You answer it. I just told you. Huh? I said so-and-so is a man in a dress. What color dress he gonna wear next week? That's your shit. You getting into gossip now. The people I talk to know who I am. They wouldn't even ask me a question like that. Because if I know that, they know I. You use some of that shit on your own. Huh? And then you see it. Huh? It's simple. This here is, no, hold that 1 minute. No, you just read, that's the one about, read the first paragraph again.
Well, we did it, but
Up top, first paragraph.
But I got a message for OBS. Y'all have fun while y'all can. I'm kicking y'all to the curb. First chance I get, OBS. First chance I get, I'm kicking y'all. I'm just kicking y'all to the curb.
some inaccurate data gets on TV
Yeah.
before use is halted by news election service?
Yeah, go ahead.
Some machines just aren't to be believed.
Now switch over to the last paragraph.
When it gets down to those crucial calls,
The top of the.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
CBS
I'm sorry.
anchorman.
No, the top. I'm sorry, the top. The last paragraph up top, where your hand is.
CBS anchorman
Yeah.
Walter Cronkite,
Yeah.
after the errors were pointed out to him, apologized for not questioning the
Now you
figures.
think he don't even know what the fuck happened, but he think he has a right to apologize to America. There it is, right there.
He says, apologized for not questioning the figures. He said any fool should have known they were out of line. Later, when the news election data system closed down, urgent word was sent to the networks and news services for at least half an hour.
That's
They
all.
received
That's all. I
no
just wanted
new
you just to
figures.
see that I cut it off before that. Now, O.J. Simpson, they run it. They run shit every 10 years to get your children and your grandchildren. So let's go back and look at O.J. He cannot read or write. So when the cop said he sent this message out to be read to his fans, now to show you how powerful he was as an athlete, his godfather was Willie Mays. So when he finished high school, Willie Mays took him and put him in a junior college when wasn't nobody looking. So 2 years later, they slipped him in USC. He go to a 4-year college and in 2 years break all the football records that it took them 4 years to do. Now you know what kind of. So if he can't read or write, who was that was writing all the way through the trial? See how it works? It works. And so when you stop and think about, so a funny thing happened. Here's how the universe works. A funny thing happened. They asked Nicole, here's how white folks protect white folks. A franchise. They asked Ron Goldman folks and her folks, why was he at Nicole's house at 1 o'clock in the morning? You ever heard that story?
Yeah.
Said her mother ate there and dry her glasses. So she called the restaurant and said, are my glasses there? I said, yeah. I said, well, I'll pick them up tomorrow. And she said, no, Ron Goldman will bring them. See, that justifies how Ron Goldman can be by not Mom's house, but Nicole's house.
Right.
Now, if you look at Goldman, somewhere the universe said, a newspaper called her mother the next day. I said, when's the last time you spoke to your daughter before she was killed? She said, oh, around 11 o'clock. Now, the press didn't think nothing suspicious. She just said, well, that couldn't have been. Because this all happened before 10:20. So she still don't think. Okay? So, here's a federal judge. What paper is that? What's the date on it? What's it say?
Los Angeles Times, February 26, 2000. O.J. Simpson sues for Brown's telephone records. The former athlete claims GTA's data on calls can prove he didn't murder.
The call that her mother made. Federal judge put on a lock and key for 75 years.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, O.J. Simpson claims that records of phone calls between his ex-wife and her mother on the night Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered
It's in Dallas.
clear
It's
him
in the,
of
it's
any
in the,
role in the stabbing deaths of her and Ronald L. Goldman.
Okay. Now, so now let's go to the chase. All them white folks on the bridge with their signs, how'd they know which way he was going? The cops didn't. Go, Juice, go, you my man, Juice. With big signs. You ever seen white folk with signs in their trunk so they can write messages on it?
Right.
See how it works? Al Sharpton is probably the most powerful Negro in America. Why? He had that television show, white station, 5 days a week. Black station, 5 days a week. Anytime something happened in New York, blacks and whites, they came and got Al. And then the Pope came to New York 6 months ago. The most powerful human being on the planet. Bullshit, but he is. They made Al leave town. The Pope, the only black place he went to when he was here was the black school in Harlem. Al wasn't there, and that didn't bother him, and that didn't bother his supporters. Are you crazy?
One of the things a lot of people are commenting on, and after watching your videos, they want to know what your thoughts are, the difference between white supremacy and white privilege.
White supremacy? People that got white supremacy get killed by white supremacy. People got white privilege, still have to go to the military. The big folks don't go. White supreme, they just break the word down. I'm white and I'm supreme. They didn't say supreme to niggers. I'm supreme to anybody who ain't my blood. It's simple. It's a good question you asked. And thank God you shut up long enough to hear an answer. Because the answer is in the name. Huh? I say to my children, that's one of the richest men in the world. They don't have to ask why. It's in what I told them. Huh? In what I told them. Queen Elizabeth. See, white ain't a color. Most of y'all ain't never met a white person. White person ain't never met a white person. White's not a color, it's the attitude. And if you ain't got trillions of dollars in the bank, you can't have the attitude. Queen Elizabeth made $360 million every 24 hours just interest on her money. Every 24 hours. Plus, you don't even understand money. You take $1 million, every nigga I see won't be a millionaire. Take $1 million and change it into seconds. 1 million seconds is 13 days. Take $1 billion and change it in a second, it's 32 years. Who want to be a millionaire but a fool? Hmm? But if you don't know that, if you don't know that,
but hey, that's what we seem to be chasing. That's what we seem to be chasing, people. We in a race. We in a race to touch that mill. You ain't got a race to touch that bill because it ain't. Look, it's not gonna give you that happiness that you're looking for. You know, and it definitely ain't gonna change anything. It ain't gonna change the situation that you in. But that Black Panther money, that billion in Black Panther money, yeah, we can do something with that.
then that's the games they play. And yet, Queen Elizabeth cannot go in London without getting permission from the Lord Mayor. Did you hear me? Because, see, London's not part of Britain. Like Rome's, the Vatican's not part of Rome. So if they give her the permission, the Lord Mayor, then she got to go dress up like a servant and come through the back gate, the temple gate. And they do that devil ritual with the purple and all the stuff on. Queen Elizabeth. Okay. These are the games they play. But then you listen to something else that you're born with. You ever heard of Marie Antoinette?
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't say of course.
I'm sorry.
I said it because I heard of her. Everybody heard. You know what the bitch look like?
Talk to him, Dick.
Huh?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Talk to him.
And what brought her down?
Talk to him, brother Greg.
Let him eat cake.
Okay. Now think about that. Because I ain't never met a nigga that like cake. What did that bitch do? There's a universal thing she interfered with. That's simple. There ain't no guns. Huh? No bullets. She said, let them eat cake. I ain't never met somebody that didn't like cake. But you better not tell me. That's what it's about. And then the rest of the country said, okay, let's have welfare. Let's give free food away. Never let this happen to us. They bumped into something they couldn't deal with. That's simple. I ain't never knew what that bitch looked like. Still don't know what she looked like. Not interested in knowing what she looked like. But I know about that. I know about that. And so the whole game is something that's bigger than us. You get on the show and do a show and try to tell, especially poor folk, that reading is a violation of the universe. If you get on a plane today and go to Tokyo, can you read a Japanese paper? Do you think the universe made something that changed when you cross a border? Because when this planet, there were no borders. You hear me?
Yes.
There were no borders. This is bullshit so I can control you. I got 10 children. If you interviewed my children and they told you, we're so scared of our daddy, what? He taught us to fear him. You know I'm crazy, right? Then when they tell you fear God, you don't think God's crazy, or are they lying? Fear is a negative. But if you do the research and find out what fear do to your body, fear God. Ain't that a bitch? And we believe it.
We believe it. You know? We ate it up. And that's fear. It's deeply rooted, deeply embedded in us. And we shook. You know, we shook to the core. We shaking in the boots. But I'm gonna let Brother Gregory talk to you.
Forgive, 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 forgive. May God tell me, the universe, if I mess up, it's gonna put me in a pot and cook me. I don't wanna be with that God. That tell me I ain't supposed to do it, but you can. I didn't know that the Romans invented crosses 1,000 years before Christ was born. I thought they invented it for Jesus. Huh? So 1,000 years. Why? Because that's where they killed revolutionists. So if you walking down the street with your mother, wasn't no radio, TV, and you saw man hanging on the cross, they didn't do women because all their vagina, everything would come out from being hung. And so you say, Mommy, what's that? Oh, he made the state mad. It's for revolutionists. Then why was those two thieves on the cross, nigga? Were they revolutionists? See how easy it is? When you get a bit of information. And then the one said, if you who you say you are, boy, thank God I'd have killed him right there on the cross. You don't talk to me like that, you thug. And then the other one said what niggas and po for. Father, when you get to where you no, nigga, you ain't even repented. You ain't even asked for forgiveness. Huh? See that work? That.
So I remember you saying, that we're all part of the filth because we pay taxes.
Pay taxes. Not all of us. Most of us who think we. There are people. Do you know how many slaves jumped off before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave? The niggas be saying that ain't gonna die. They're just singing a song. But there are people. There are people. Oh, my mother and them taught me that Baptist bullshit. That the one thing you can't be forgiven for is suicide. That's what my folks taught me. You mean if I'm gonna come by your house and kill your family, I can be forgiven? But if I shoot myself so I won't do it, I won't be forgiven? Y'all buy into that bullshit? And so once you stop it, then you get to the order. To the order. And then people come and tell you things. We got children that let me look at. I let my children look at George Washington. Them was a bunch of slave owners. They don't look like slave owners. Spit and polish. Once you own me, you rape a chicken, man. But I didn't see that. My mom and them didn't know. They thought they was heroes. They were slave owners.
And all day, that's what we try to encourage our peoples on a one-way ticket to the plantation. Because regardless of how you look at it, it's always going to be a tax. I got a credit card. I get taxed. Yeah, so what? Cash back. You get a little cash back in here and there, but it's a tax. It's a fee. You fuck up. Hey, why? Because they control that. They set the fees. They set the overdrafts. Like what kind? How can you? I mean, of course, if you gotta go and do what you gotta do, let a person have to do what they gotta do to get what they gotta get. But to encourage them, yeah, come on over here. Let's get your finances right. That whole game is the enemy system. Let's just be real. Talk to him.
That brings up one of the topics. I guess Harry Tubman's going to be on the $20 bill now. Do you have any thoughts about
Yeah,
that?
big thoughts. You didn't say it right. She's going to be on the front.
The front of the 20, yes.
Yeah. See, if I'm looking for you for information, that slave owner's going to be on the back. The most important thing about that is a black woman, felon, fugitive from justice, replaced the slave owner with a slave. Whew. Tell my grandchildren that. Replace the slave owner with a slave. They had reward for her and her 2 sons. Well, the back of a $20 bill now. She got the money to pay it. Yeah, take my money. How much I owe you? Put everything in. Figure up how much interest from back then. You talking to mama now. That's universal law. Huh? That's you. Nobody said, but she's a fugitive. Her sons were fugitives. There was a reward. Then you know there's somebody here other than you. And didn't change her outfit. Niggas would have been, they tried to make her look like a society. Gonna outdress Queen Elizabeth. Said, no, put her right there. Right there, let her see. And see, that's what's wrong with the word nigger. The N-word, white folk can't see what it was. And one of the sad things about the N-word, it wasn't one black person sitting in the room when the white folks made that decision that it's gonna be the N-word.
Facts Media Global. Let's wrap it up. I ain't say let's wake it up. We woke. We woke. Walking Dead. You know? But we living in a new time. In a new era. These old enemies, they not up with the times. You know, that's how they was able to get Donald Trump in the office. You know what I'm saying? They was able to get Donald Trump in the office. How? Because somebody told Russia to start a troll campaign. You know, start just, you know, I need y'all over in Russia to just start troll farms and just start feeding propaganda to the American people, because they like fish is off the hook. You could toss them anything and they just gonna, you know, they're gonna jump on it like flies on shit. So this is what I need y'all to do, because what the American public don't know that I know is that these old Southerners and these white supremacists, they old now. They can't even work the internet. You know, so the only thing they want to do is press. They don't know about spam. They don't know about clickbait. They don't know about anything. So this might work. And that's what they did. And did it work? I ask you, who do we have in office? It's a wrap. We done wrapped it up. Facts Media Global. 1.